Welcome back for another episode of the I Don't Give a Care podcast. Thank you for joining me again for another episode this week, and I'm really excited to get into it. So I'm now recording this after posting about my podcast and putting out the first episode, and I just want to say thank you to anyone who said something nice to me or listened to the podcast or just commented, or anybody that supported me in any way. I'm so fucking grateful for that. Like, I did not expect to get that level of support. I don't know, it's so weird to think that people actually care about me not caring. You know what I mean? Oh, that was a stupid joke. But no, actually, like, I'm very happy that a lot of people reached out and actually listened to it. And I had a few people reach out saying that what I talked about in the first episode really helped them in some way, and it actually like resonated with their life. So I'm really excited to talk about more episodes that will help people or relate to somebody in any way, and I look forward to that. I'd also love if you send me any ideas or topics that you want me to talk about, because I'm literally open to anything. This podcast is going to be about anything and everything that we want to talk about. With that in mind, let's get into this next episode. I kind of struggled picking the topic for this week because I said I had a million things I want to talk about, and I wasn't kidding. Like, I changed my topic idea like 3 times because I wanted it to resonate with a lot of people. Like, I want this to be kind of something that everybody like deals with and experiences. And so that's why I picked this topic. And it's that we're all addicted to our phones, and it's literally ruining our life. And yes, I say phones, it's not just social media, it's our phones as a whole, because our phones are literally with us 24/7. We are never away from them. We can't get away from them, even if we tried. I've tried, and you just can't. Like, you kind of need them to survive in our society nowadays. It's getting very scary. So recently, actually, back in December, I tried to give up social media for 1 week, and I did. I gave up the ones that I spend the most time on, so that included Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook. So I gave all those up for 1 week, and it actually wasn't too bad. I mean, there was a few times where I was like in the habit of going to that app, but I took them right off my phone, so I wouldn't be tempted to kind of like go on them. The mistake I made was, it's that I thought my only problem was using social media, but turns out it's not, because I still went on my phone a lot that week that I gave up social media. So I still went on YouTube, which I should have probably given up. I still went on like Reddit. I was still using my phone quite a bit. Like, I found myself scrolling through my photos. Like, who does that? I mean, I guess that's what they're there for. But my point is that I still found a way to use my phone for no reason at all. Like, during that week that I gave up social media, what I should have been doing was tackling the list of goals that I set out for myself to do when I was like, okay, I'm giving up social media this week. What can I get done when I don't have these apps wasting all my time? But instead, I just found more ways to waste time on my phone. When I deleted social media for that week, it was still very nice to get away from all of the noise and just seeing what everybody's posting all the time and kind of getting out of that headspace. But I still was using my phone. I was still being addicted to my phone, relying on it. And the reason I think this is because we have the world at our fingertips. Like, you can access anything through your phone. And our phones, they're just so convenient. They're like the perfect size to bring with us everywhere we go. We bring it to work with us. We bring it in the car. We bring it to the bathroom. We bring it into our bedrooms. We use it before bed. Like, we kind of rely on it for everything in our life. And the reason why I say it's an addiction is because when I was addicted to vaping, I would bring my vape everywhere with me. Like, it was always in my pocket. It was always in my hand. And that's the same thing with my phone. It would always be my phone and my vape. I'd have those 2 things with me all the time. So yeah, it's an addiction if you can't literally go to another room without it. And I do think that as a society, we've come a long way with technology and our phones, and like, they can be used for a lot of good. Like, there are a lot of pros to having phones. Like, now we can be safer and we can share our locations with each other. We can contact the police for help if we need. We can access like any information in the world. We can watch a video in 5 minutes to learn something. We can look up a recipe. We can learn new skills. We can connect with people across the world. We can talk to people without having to see them in person. So why has it come to this? Why has it come to this time in society where they have become so bad for us? I think a huge reason is because we can't draw the separation from life and our phones. They have become our life now. One of the biggest reasons for me as to why our phone addiction is becoming really scary is because of the amount of time we waste on our phones. We suddenly have no time for anything. We talk about how our 9-to-5s take up all of our time, which is true. They take up way too much of our life already. Like, we shouldn't have to work 40 hours of our life a week to trade that in for some money to survive. That's just my opinion. But out of the 40 hours that you spend at work, what are we doing outside of that time? A lot of us are just spending it on our phones. And I thought I would pull up some stats from just Google. I don't know exactly the sources for these, if they're like completely accurate, but the one that I found was like from November 2025, so it's pretty recent, I think. But let me just tell you the few stats I found, which are a bit concerning, if I might add. Okay, so about 97% of adults worldwide own some type of phone. Around 48% of users spend 5 to 6 hours daily on their devices, while 18% exceed 6 hours, driven heavily by Gen Z, who average 9 hours of screen time. Oh my God. Let me do some math here for you now, because this intrigued me earlier when I found these stats. I'm like, what does this equal to over the span of our lives, the span of the year, the span of a week? So say we're just calculating the average. So say you use your phone 5 hours on average a day, and you're doing that for consistently over the year. Let's calculate how many hours that is. So that equals to a total of 1,825 hours. And do you want to know how many days that is of your life that you just spent on your phone? Just from 5 hours a day? And it brings us to 76 days. Out of the 365 days, you're spending 76 days on your phone. Like, that's insane. That's around a quarter of your year spent on your phone. Just think about that. We have 4 quarters in the year, and one of those quarters just completely spent on your phone. And that's if you're like on the average 5 hours a day side. If you're doing more than that, like, oh my God, more than a quarter of your year, maybe even half your year is just spent on your phone. And like, that is so scary. Okay, I'm going to throw a few more numbers out there just to put this into perspective of how much time we're spending. I found that there are 168 hours a week. Say you spend 40 hours working. So that leaves you with 128 hours left. And then say you spend about 8 hours sleeping a night. Say you spend 35 hours on your phone during that week. You're left with 37 hours to yourself for the week. 37 hours without your phone, without sleeping, and without going to work. That's all you have left. Like, say you commute to work or anywhere you're going, you have to factor that into those 37 hours. You have to put in cooking, cleaning, running errands, driving, going to the gym. That leaves you with like very little time to do anything else, such as hobbies or working on your passions or doing something creative. Like, it leaves you with basically no time. But after adding up our screen time and how much of your life it literally takes away from just even 1 week of your life and then 1 year of your life, imagine at the end of your life you realize you wasted thousands of days on your phone. Like, just, that's such a waste of life. Like, that's actually crazy. And I feel like when you get to that point, you wouldn't only look back at yourself just using your phone all those years. You would also look back and be like, what did my pets think? Or your family think? All those years you wasted saying we didn't have enough time with each other, but we did. We were just too busy, stuck into the world of our phone. My dogs are a huge reason that this has kind of opened my eyes, is because they have no concept of what technology is or what phones really are, but they see humans on them all the time. They see us like just looking at these like little devices. They don't even know what we're looking at all the time, but we look like we're just zombies, just staring at them. And they're like, what's so important in that phone? Like, I'm right here. This is the real world. Another thing that opened my eyes about time and using our phones and everything was this person that said it's only 30 minutes. And it shows the comparison between somebody making the excuse that, oh, it's only 30 minutes. And it shows them like scrolling on their phone. And then it shows a comparison of somebody doing a quick 30-minute workout. And then it says it's only 30 minutes. And they do that with using your phone and then doing all these other things that we always say, oh, it takes too long. Oh, I don't have time for this. In reality, we do have time for this. We're just making excuses because it's a lot easier to just waste our time on our phones and kind of just escape escape reality, because I feel like that's what we're doing at the end of the day. It used to be that we would use our phones or a computer when we were like younger, and we would use these devices just to get away for a little bit from the real world. It'd be like, oh, an hour here, an hour there. Then we would go back to our real life because our fun is over. Like, we got it out of our system and now we can walk away from it. Now our phones are with us all the time. We have them everywhere we go. Like, we cannot escape it. Now we are using the real world. We're using that as a way to escape our reality, our fake reality we've created on these phones. It's become the other way around in recent years because we've just become so addicted to living a fake life in these little devices, and these lives don't exist. Like, all of this shit is fake. And now most of our lives are literally lived through our phones. And after doing those numbers that I just shared with you, it's true. Like, most of our life is lived through our phones now. You see people making videos and doing challenges, just showing themselves giving up their phones and giving up social media. And it's become this new thing to escape our phones now. We're using reality. We're using hobbies. We're using real life. We're using all these ways to escape the reality we've created on our phones. So I just find it crazy that it's kind of switched. It used to be the other way around. We would use our phones to escape reality for a little bit, but it's become our reality. We're no longer escaping. It is our reality now. We also spend way too much time consuming over creating. And you see that when it comes to social media. And social media is a huge reason why we're so addicted to our phones now. It's probably the biggest reason, honestly. Social media has just introduced so many horrible things that we should not be dealing with. We're just doom scrolling. We're comparing our lives to everybody else's, to their highlight reels that don't even exist. Like, it doesn't even show half of what their life really is. We're always being exposed to a million different types of videos and content, so it makes our emotions just all over the place. Like, have you noticed if you're scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, how 1 second you'll be watching a really funny video, the next is like a happy video, the next is a horrible video that makes you cry. Just all of the content that we're exposed to all the time. Like, we were never meant to see all of this. We were never meant to experience this many different people all at once and have access to all these people and let them have access to us. And there's so much negativity. I feel like all of us as users, we don't have self-control when it comes to our phones and social media. Like, we just don't. Our world has literally gone downhill. So many horrible things are happening all at once in our world. And when we have a means to escape, we're going to use that. Social media it ruins a lot of things. It ruins the relationship with yourself, and it also ruins your relationships with others. Phones in general have been ruining relationships, and you see this now more than ever. We've seen like a huge rise on relationship issues, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with friends, family, whoever, because of our phones and social media. It's taken over our quality time, how we talk to each other. A lot of people don't even have conversations with each other anymore. We're just glued to our phone. And that can really affect your relationships, because when you're trying to talk to somebody and they have a phone in their hand, or they're looking at their phone and they're like switching between back and forth talking to you and looking at their phone, it really just doesn't make you feel very good. It just always makes you feel like, okay, something or someone else is always more important because of that damn phone. And when we're never giving each other our full attention, it just shows that we're not important to each other as much as we thought we were. And it just really takes the quality out of all of our relationships, because we're basically telling that person, my phone is more important than you. Social media is more important than you. Looking at this video was more important. Seeing all these other people on social media is more important than you, when I have you right in real life. And not to mention, with dating nowadays, phones have completely ruined dating and relationships, because there's so many blurred lines now, because you got micro cheating, you got people having access to a million different people all the time and having all these fake illusions of options. You think all of these people are available to you because they're at your fingertips. They're not really there in your real life. And I think a lot of people in relationships get caught up into this fantasy world that we're all living in, and they actually believe it's real. Like, okay, yeah, this imaginary person that I don't even know, that doesn't even know me, is more important than this real person I have in my life. And that's the problem when we have access to all of these people all the time and they have access to us. It's just 24/7 access, and you can't get away. You can't get away from the noise or the people anymore. And now all of us, we always feel obligated to respond to people all the time. We always feel obligated to answer people right away and to always just be available. You can't get away from anybody now because, everybody's always on their phone. You know that. So when somebody doesn't reply to you, or somebody doesn't pick up the phone right away, or they don't answer your text right away, you take that to heart because you're like, well, what are they doing? I know they're on their phone right now. We all just think we're so entitled to people's time now, or they're entitled to ours. It's just become so unhealthy, especially if you're someone that's trying to grow as a creator or in the social media world, especially if you have a business on there too. It becomes really hard to separate your real life from using social media. And I genuinely wonder how full-time creators and influencers and people that their jobs are literally to create on social media or YouTube or any of those platforms, I genuinely wonder, how do they separate their real life from their life that they've created on social media? How do they actually separate that? Because even normal people that have normal jobs have a hard time separating their life from social media. So it would be really hard to separate that because everybody has access to you all the time. And at that point, it's expected of you too. And honestly, we probably wouldn't even talk to or see a lot of the people that we normally see on social media. We would never see them again or talk to them again out in the real world if it weren't for social media tying us together in this imaginary, fake, made-up world that we've made up. And it's keeping us in this false, imaginary contact with each other, when in reality, we haven't spoken a word to each other in 10 years. I haven't seen you in person. I don't even know what you look like anymore. We see all these people all the time. We're like, well, when was the last time I actually talked to you in person or saw you in person? And it's probably been a long time. And that's the thing with social media. It gives us this false sense of connection with each other because it doesn't exist. It's through a fake world. And it's crazy because social media and our phones were created with the intent to connect us closer to each other. But now we're more disconnected than ever. Now we just ignore each other. We ignore each other in person. We ignore each other on our phones. We ignore each other just everywhere. Everybody's just so antisocial now. And honestly, I don't blame them. I don't blame us for being antisocial because these phones and social media are sucking the living life out of us. They're literally draining us. We're being exposed to so much negativity and so many different people at once. And I think we're just starting to become a little bit drained and overloaded with all of the information that we can't even process it anymore. There's too much information out there for us and we can't retain it all. We're literally just having an information overload. Basically, that just means we can't think for ourselves anymore. So we rely on our phones to think for us. Earlier, I said that we always have our phones with us. We are relying on them all the time for everything. I think what that's doing to us is it's literally making us dumber. We have become dumb. And the reason I say that is because we can't use critical thinking skills anymore without using our phones. If we want to go somewhere, we pull up our maps. If we want to cook something, we pull up our phones and look up a recipe. We read our books on our phones now. We rely on our phones for help instead of using our brains to actually critically think and figure out solutions. A lot of us don't read anymore. We don't write anymore, which are two of the biggest ways to keep your intelligence high and to keep learning and to keep growing as a human. You should be reading and practicing your brain and writing. And we don't do that anymore. We're not learning a lot of new skills anymore because, why would we have to if we can just pull it up on our phone? Because we have our phones now to just kind of do the work for us. We also have AI now, which is a whole other conversation, but that is certainly making us dumber. Not only is it making us dumber, it's also taking out our creativity. Every caption I see nowadays is one written by ChatGPT. I just want to see a human write something again. And yes, these are all good tools, our phone, social media, AI. These can all be amazing tools, but we are overusing it. We're overdoing it, and it's become a huge problem. We also don't have any hobbies anymore. Think of the last time that you actually did a hobby just for yourself and not for the internet to see, and not because of your phone or anything. Because a lot of us do things just because our phones and social media. Oh, there's a hobby? I want to do that now. We used to do hobbies because we actually enjoyed doing them and because it was a way for us to kind of just be creative again. I've also noticed that we're getting really forgetful. I've gotten so forgetful over the years, and a lot of people I've talked to also have brain fog. Something else I wanted to talk about, which I think is impossible not to talk about when it comes to our phones and social media, is mental illness now. We have so many mental health issues that it seems like everybody has anxiety nowadays. Everybody has ADHD. A lot of people are more depressed now. Mental illness has only risen over the past how many years since social media and our phones really blew up. And it's really concerning because we know it's our damn phones, but we're not doing anything about it. It's because there's no escaping it. Like, it's really fucking hard. So what do we do? What do we do with all of this? So I just told you all of these ways that our phones and social media are literally ruining our lives. We're all addicted, and it just feels like there's no way out, right? Because we all rely on these phones. Jobs rely on these phones. Everywhere is using social media. You just can't seem to get away from it. Until that day comes where social media and our phones aren't really needed anymore, we kind of have to learn how to live with them. And to do that means having healthy boundaries with our phones and social media. See, it's not about completely giving it up, because unfortunately, I don't think that's possible right now. It's just kind of hard to escape. You can try. I mean, you could go get a flip phone if you really wanted to and just use it straight for calls and texting people. But even then, you're still using a phone. But you probably wouldn't be on it as much as you would be having a smartphone with the world at your fingertips. But if you don't want to completely give it up, it's about looking at using our phones and social media and technology, AI, all of that as tools rather than using them to replace our life, using them to replace our personalities, our relationships, our skills, and just who we are in general. So how do you do that? You need to have boundaries. So basically what you could do is you could get a flip phone, like I said earlier. You can get app blockers on your phone. You can delete the apps right off your phone. You can set time limits on your phone. You can get a physical alarm instead of using your phone. That is something I did recently. I use a physical alarm now, so I don't need to rely on having my phone with me. You can also turn off your phone while you're doing work or something, and so that you have no distractions. You can just turn it off, get it out of the room. And then when it comes to your relationships, you can make rules with them, whether it's with your partner, family, friends. You could say, okay, while we're watching this movie or while we're doing this activity, let's put our phones away, put them on do not disturb, turn them off even. Especially if you're socializing, and just turn them off. Why do you need them? The real life is happening right here where you are. You don't need to be in this fake, phony life because it doesn't exist. It's an illusion. You can also not use it before bed, especially an hour before bed, because it's really bad for your brain and it doesn't help your brain shut off when you're sleeping. Also, using it right in the morning is so bad for you. I've been really trying hard not to do that. It instantly puts you in this mindset of comparing your life to people, looking at social media, taking in all this information and all this stuff before even starting your day. Now you already have the rest of your day decided for you based on what you just looked at on social media. Now I'm going to be feeling this way about my day because I just saw this and this and this. When in reality, you could have just started with a fresh, clean slate, a fresh mind after sleeping all night, and just live your actual life without any of this outside noise and influence. And another thing you can do is just make sure you have hobbies and a life outside of your phone. So even just weekly, make sure you're doing a fun activity. Make sure you're actually doing something. And I know it's really hard in the winter, especially for me. It's what do you do? But there's so many things we can do. You can find a book to read. You can scrapbook, play a sport. You can go to the gym. So many things we can do that we always say we have no time to do, but we really have the time. And it really is those damn phones. So stop letting these phones take over your life, take over your relationships, and wasting your life away and taking all your time. Honestly, we need to wake up. I'm talking to myself here too because I've really tried to add a lot of these rules into my life the past few months. Because I've noticed, wow, my screen time is really high. Wow, I'm not getting a lot of the shit done that I said I was going to get done because I spent the whole night doom scrolling. Time slips away when you're using your phone. You'll be oh, I'm just going to go on it for 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden 2 hours passes and you're where did my whole night go? It's really sad and it's really scary, but I think a lot of us are starting to wake up, and a lot of us would be happier had we had better relationships and boundaries with our phones and social media. I'll probably talk more about this in the future, but I just want to say I hope this changes your mind in any way or helps you kind of view how you use your phone and social media. I hope it changes your perspective a little bit and just kind of opens your eyes, because honestly, I've noticed in my life, it's affected my relationships too. I've noticed like a lot of the people in my life, we don't even have like real conversations anymore. And it just kind of shitty, because it's like, I want to see these people and life is so short, but we're all just wasting our time on our phones instead of just being present with each other. Nobody is present anymore. So let this be your wake-up call and your reminder to just be more present and get off that damn phone. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts on social media and using your phone and how that all ties into your life and things you're doing to kind of give it up a little bit and not make it the center of your life. Anyways, I will see you guys next week, and thank you for tuning in this week if you watched it. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next Wednesday. On Wednesdays, we don't give a care.